Well, this is a damn shame because this is actually a pretty solid flick. So anyway, let's review the Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle stars Zolo Marduena, Bruna Marcozine, and is directed by Angel Manuel Soto. What's up, guys? You might notice a different setup here. Yes, this isn't live. I'm not streaming right now, okay? This is kind of my streaming setup, but I just got this 4K webcam. Not a sponsor here, okay? I just bought it today on a whim just because I wanted to kind of up my quality on my 4K streams. This is Step, okay? Again, no sponsor, but I always put my gear in my info box if you guys want to check it out. But this is a quality. I like it. It's pretty nice, and I wanted to try it out, so I figured I would do the review here. Don't know if this will be a constant thing, but if you like this setup, let me know. Okay, I like changing things up a little bit. Also, you might notice I have a different T-shirt on here. This is from a company called Hallow Swag. Now, this is a sponsorship. They sent me this T-shirt, and I dig their T-shirts. I like their designs. You can see it's like a sheet-covered villain coming in a door. What does that remind you of? You see anything you like? Yeah, but one thing I like about this shirt is the material is very, very comfortable, because I have some T-shirts that aren't so comfortable, and that's probably why I don't wear them as much. You could have the coolest design in the world, but if the shirt isn't comfortable, then it's all for naught, okay? But yeah, Drumdums 10 is the code you can use. I'll have information down in the info box. Hallowswag.com is the company. They also have an Instagram page. You can check them out. A lot of different designs, really cool stuff. Okay, so yeah, hallowswag.com. Check them out. And lastly, what you see on the screen right now is the first official video image of the title character of Days of Sodom. It's a Crow-inspired fan film. Wet Paint Pictures, Cody Falk. I am an associate producer on this. Super excited to show you guys this footage. This is a costume test, and it's very like the Batman inspired, but this is kind of the look we're going for with this fan film, and it looks amazing. So I wanted to show you guys this before we do this review. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. So anyway, let's get on with the review for Blue Beetle. Now, this is DC's, I think they said this is their last in the DCEU, although I think you could still say it's in the James Gunn universe, because, yeah, they do mention some other characters, but they just kind of mention the characters' names. You don't see what they look like, so it could be in the new DC universe, which I kind of hope it is, because this movie it kind of rocks, okay? Did not expect that either, because I think I even like gave the movie a hard time when I saw, the trailer. Maybe, I don't know if it's superhero fatigue or just because of the constant run of bad movies in the DCEU lately. I'm a huge fan of the Zack Snyder universe. Love all those movies. Didn't care for like the Shazam. Aquaman's okay. Black Adam, didn't really care for much of any of those. Okay, so I guess I'm kind of 50-50 on the DCEU, but this is actually a solid movie. And by the way, I did dig The Flash. Okay, I didn't think it was perfect, but I did dig The Flash. Right. So in a weird way, I guess the DCEU is going out with a bang, even though this movie flopped hard at the box office. But yeah, anyway, let's give you a quick plot synopsis, get you set up for what is this movie about. Zolo Marduena plays Jaime Reyes. He is from this family. They are in like the lower income part of, now I think this is like a fictional place, because most of the DC locations are fictional. But he comes in contact with this scarab, kind of accidentally, because this character Jennifer, she needs to get rid of it because they're chasing her, and so it ends up in his hands. Now, Susan Sarandon, she plays Victoria Cord. She is like the leader, the CEO of this organization, but they're up to some nasty stuff. It's all about money and greed and power, the usual villain type stuff that we've seen in a million of these movies, DC and Marvel. I will say she is kind of a generic villain, although I love Susan Sarandon, so I didn't mind it. And by the way, she looks great for her age, too. And then you got this kind of a sympathetic villain by the name of Carapax. He's the, I guess, worker villain. You know, a lot of these movies, they have like the head, you know, the brains of the organization. Then they have the worker villain that does all the fighting. And he's that guy. Now, this movie is a combination of different things like Iron Man, Spider-Man, you know, just so many different superhero archetypes. Even Thor a little bit, because the Scarab, it can't just connect with anybody, but it does connect very well with Jaime. But Carapax, there's a little bit more below the surface, which they touch on in the movie. So you get a little bit of a sympathetic villain without making him too sympathetic, you know. He's still pretty badass. But let's jump into the pros and the cons of this movie. First off, Zolomar Duena, who was in Cobra Kai, he is extremely charismatic. And I think he's perfectly cast for this movie. Even though this movie has bombed royally, and we can pretty much call it a bomb, I think he's going to be okay. He just has that, and I've used this before, but that like Michael J. Fox factor, you know? Michael J. Fox, probably one of the most charismatic actors ever. Even though every role he did, because he's so charismatic, or just maybe just he's Michael J. Fox, that's who you see. He doesn't really inhabit anything outside of that. Same thing here so far anyway with Zolo. But the camera loves the guy, and he carries this whole movie on his shoulders. And really, the thing that works so much about this is it's a great hero's coming of age story, figuring out the tech, figuring out who he is. More importantly, the family dynamic. I think the family dynamic in this movie is every bit as strong, if not stronger, than what's the best part of Fast and the Furious, which it's become a joke at this point. The family. You know, they jumped the shark somewhere along the way. But in this movie, even though it's just one movie, you love the family to death. You don't need the Blue Beetle to always be on the screen. You love how they back him up. And there's a section in this movie where he's having a conversation with this character, Jennifer, who works for the organization. They really drive home the impact of, doesn't matter how much money you have, if you have a family, a really close, tight-knit family, then that's really all that matters. You know, happiness isn't always in a mansion. And you got some standout performances in the family too, especially like George Lopez, who is a scene stiller with a lot of the comedy. I don't think all the comedy lands, but it feels a little bit different than, I guess you would call, the Marvel comedic formula. It's grounded kind of in that like Mexican culture, you know? And I love that about this movie. It's kind of like what Black Panther was to the black community. Same thing here for the Latino community. Now, as far as any cons, I kind of touched on it with the villains. These aren't villains to like write home about or anything, but they do their part to keep the story going and really just kind of prop up the main purpose of the movie, which is this, hero's origin story, his journey. I don't think this movie does anything completely groundbreaking, but it's a fun time. And you know what? As long as you give me that, then I'm good, right? It was a fun night at the movies, and it was a shame that there were only a few of us there, because this movie, I think, should have done so much better, especially on Saturday afternoons. It would have been a great movie to get the family out, and it seems like just Barbie and Oppenheimer are just sweeping up, So I would say to you guys, give this movie a chance, right? And you know what, Latino community? I'm surprised you guys aren't getting out there and supporting this movie, because it's really good, okay? It's really good. Get out there. And everybody get out there. So, yeah, that's my review. Giving it a low purchase worthy. Enjoyed Blue Beetle quite a bit. So, anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this movie. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we review for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums and on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.